All right, now to the heart of the program, which starts off with, as I mentioned before, Mom and Dad of ARCHway Institute, Dan and Jan Stuckey.
Give us a second, we gotta get our minutes. Well, first of all, thank you all for coming. Fred, it was inspiring hearing from you, and when you hear from Jan and I in the next few minutes, you'll understand why it's so exciting for us tonight. To be honest, to hear the medical community engaging in this problem. I know I might overstate it, I might offend people, but from our standpoint as non-professionals and a caregiver trying to help somebody, seeing the medical community engaging is a dream come true for us. I know we have a long ways to go, but thank you. So with that, we're going to head on to our award tonight. We're ready.
Okay, excuse me. So when we were brainstorming back in 2013 to begin this organization, 4 thoughts stood out in our mission. Bring awareness to the disease of addiction and break down the stigma attached to it. We believed in recovery with proper support in place surrounding the person. It would take a whole community to understand, be educated, and help support the persons in recovery. And both the physical and mental health needed to be healed. And that's why it was so important with ARCHway that we capitalize these 4 letters, the ARCH, Awareness, Recovery, Community, and Health, in our name to signify our mission. And 3 years ago, we started to give out awards in that area. And this year we'd like to recognize the past award winners from St. Louis and ask you to stand. In 2018, we had Don Willie, who got one of our first community awards. Thank you, Don. Also in 2018, Jeff Stoll got our community award for all of his support and help programs. Thank you, Jeff. In 2019, the Recovery Award, we gave one to Percy Menzies. One of our and the other Recovery Award went to John Stuckey. Thank you.
So just leave it on this one second. So Jan and I are going to present this year's award here in St. Louis. And we're excited both personally, professionally, and as a member of the community to give this award. And anybody that knows me, I'm going to tell 2 stories that might be a little depressing, but we hear it all the time. It's our personal experience, but then you will understand why we are so excited about tonight's award from those 3 perspectives. The first is, and some of you have heard it before, but it's that small piece. We were talking about it on the plane ride up. It was probably 10 years ago we were here in St. Louis, and Jan and I knew we were in over our head with John. It wasn't just parenting, it wasn't just choices. We knew we were in over our head, and the very first place you go to is your personal doctor. We have a health problem, we have a problem, and that's who we're going to go for advice. And the honest truth is, our personal doctor in St. Louis refused to see us. Wasn't kindly, I'm not in the area, he just flat out refused to see us. And then we went on to ask, so where do we go for help? And he said, I have no advice for you. That was our experience. That was a wake-up call for Jamie and I. And to be quite honest today, you know, maybe afterwards you can tell me how I really think about it, but it's unacceptable. It was an unacceptable answer for us. That was our first experience. that will tell you why we're so excited about it. The second one was we went to a hospital in the greater St. Louis area for John, and our first experience of detox. You would have thought somebody would have told us the first 48 hours after going through detox is the most critical area for somebody having an overdose. Might have been a little detail. You might have told us that if somebody's over 21, they can walk out of detox. Also, we finished detox and we asked the hospital, so where do we go from here? And they said, we're in charge of detox. That's your problem. That was basically the answer we had. And so that's our experience. I know we're not the only ones. I've already talked tonight to a number of folks that have been caregivers, have a very, very similar story to ours about their relationship to who they really want to see. That's they go to their family physician for help. So those are the first things I wanted to say. With that though, we want to talk about where we're at. Put up the next slide. And why, first of all, personally, we're going to ultimately talk about tonight the peer support therapist. And that's our advocates for hope. But our peer support therapists are folks in long-term recovery that have been certified to help families and individuals, give them some advice, some education about their journey. Boy, we sure wish we had one of those when we came out of the hospital in detox. That's who we wanted to talk to. Somebody who basically is feet on the ground, been there, done that, who could give us some advice on where we should go from there. And they have been such a big impact. And ARCHway has a number of both volunteers, some contracts, some staff who are all peer support specialists that take our calls, work for NCADA, do some contract work for there, but they're the ones who are first line of defense. And so that's one of our stories and why we're so excited about the peer support specialists. The second one, and that's who we're really talking about tonight, is St. Louis University School of Medicine. Perfect. I'm not going to go through the details of what they've accomplished because they're right up there. But I was doing some research on the plane, on the internet, about changing how we think, changing communities, changing companies. And I was thinking about it and reading about it, and they said there were studies about other universities trying to implement educating doctors, future doctors about addiction medicine. And they all said there were so many of them that in this research who were failing doing this. And they said the barriers that were coming were curriculum, finding time in curriculum to actually train future doctors about addiction medicine, which I come from a large organization, which means somebody has to give up their time. We all know that, but politics is finding time in a curriculum. Coordinating between departments, getting departments to agree about the plan. They actually was interested that a lot of these universities didn't have qualified treatment sites that had for relevant training and experience for interns. That was an issue. The other thing they talked about was they were struggling finding interested, qualified, and passionate facility members that actually could do the training of the interns. And then the last was, as always, having the real support from the top to make a change. So when you think about what we're going to hear about tonight in Fred and St. Louis University, Jan and I are personally excited that we've taken the first step. And it's in St. Louis where ARCHway was born. And thank you, Fred, and everybody at St. Louis University. The second one was that seeing one of the things Fred talks about when he does the peer support specialist, he's bringing in peer support specialist, folks in long-term recovery, to both be trained by the interns and to train the future interns. Another big step. And so, we talked about personally, we're excited about the first step. The second one, professionally. ARCHway, shoot, I think about where we came from 7 years, and if you look at what they talk about, we only want to say we've been involved in a small way. Dr. Fred Rotnick is an ARCHway board member. The internship work at a treatment center is ARCA, which is the founding family, one of the founding families for ARCHway. A lot of the peer support specialists that are going in are from our ARCHway volunteers. So there's a lot of connections between ARCHway and the work that's going on in some manner. And with that, we would like to announce that this year's winner is, this year award is going to go to St. Louis University's Department of Family and Community Medicine, and we'd like to recognize Dr. Christine Jacobs and Katie Heiden-Rootes for their work in this area, and we would like Dr. Christine Jacobs to come up and receive the award.